This is the Grey Area Podcast, talking all things rap and hip-hop from the UK to across the pond. The facts are black and white, but our opinions are somewhere in the middle. We're about the music, not the gossip. Positive more than negative. Quality over quantity. Substance is worth more than clickbait.
Everything I spit rare, we sound in that Grey Area Podcast. They talk about hip-hop all the way in the UK, so they gon' get props. Ooh, let me catch it once again. Every time I'm spitting, I be making people dance.
Ready?
Born ready, boy.
Wicked. Right, so let's deal with the elephant in the room. Theo and Kieran, you weren't really feeling this at first, so why, and has it changed now?
Well, I'm just gonna be straight. I don't know. I was just expecting a hard hitting album, and when I first listened to it, it just didn't live up to my expectations, and I was just like, it's all right, and just rolled through the album and thought, yeah, it's a decent listen. But then when I understood the vibes,
Yes.
then man knew. So
Okay.
But when you say you were expecting, was that based on the rollout, or was that just based on his music in general prior to
music in general. I wasn't really following the rollout. It was music in general, and that's why I really appreciate this album actually because of that. Because that's now that I'm listening to it, it's like what I've got from this album. Vince obviously did this on purpose, but I was wrong to think like that, and this album kind of shows you that I was wrong to think like that. So
You weren't wrong though. You weren't wrong. It's just about timing, isn't it? Sometimes things don't hit straight away.
I don't know.
But wrong to expect a certain sound. I know what I mean. We'll go on to it later. But
right.
The certain sound that I was expecting, Vince has kind of showed me like, yeah, I was wrong to think like that. So yeah.
But when me and Sean said, go drive to this, even late at night, yeah, okay, so late at night was what I first thought it was for, but it's made for all day just cruising. Like, it's only half an hour long. Like, you can barely listen. You know what I mean? You could go on a trip to the supermarket and it's done. And it's just perfect.
Oh, no, that's what I actually think is my most played album this year.
So I played it every day.
Not just because it's the shortest. It's like you just said, I play this every single day. I can't go without a day and not playing this because I'm telling you, I'm bumping to it non-stop. But it does help that it's short, but I still think as the album as a whole makes me want to come back to it every single time. So,
But yeah,
And what about you, Kieran?
Yeah, see, that was the problem because my first listen was like a stationary one. I was just chilling at home, like one of those lockdown listens kind of thing. But as soon as I was like on a walk, you don't have to be in the car to listen to it, but when I was on a walk, I was like, okay, there's like a movement to this whole project. And then like just sitting in the car as a passenger listening, you can feel like the whole mindset he has of like cruising through California kind of thing. But I still stand by a lot of my initial thoughts. I'm not gonna lie. So like with Theo, I had expectations of Vince's music beforehand, just because he set that precedence of wanting like maximalist, like eclectic music. I think that's the word.
Oi,
where, like, it's
got
just
the
like
dictionary out.
big words.
It's like crazy sounds like all over the place kind of stuff. Like listen to that Blue Suede, Don't Get Chipped. They're all really like heavy, hard songs. All of Big Fish Fury as well. But yes, and the rollout for this confused me because Law of Averages was like super chill, but I think like that's one of my favorites. But I think that was like great how it was pulled off. But then like the first track, what's it called?
Are you with that?
Are you with that?
Yes, that confused me. And like, I feel like Sean had a similar feeling as well. Like it underwhelmed me when I first heard it. And I felt like this is kind of weird. I don't know what direction he's going in. But when you listen to the album and you get into it, my main thing was with that track, like the album's downbeat, but you start with this first song. So you're going into the album like, I'm going to listen to a downbeat album, but you feel kind of good when you play that song. It sets you on a good mindset for like what comes next. So I don't know. It grew on me basically, and those are the main thoughts that were the reason why.
Okay. Yeah, I was. Like you say, I wasn't sure about that track when it was released as a single prior, but then on that first listen, as soon as I heard it again, it just made sense. Just made sense within the context of the album. But Sam, you like me were. It connected with you straight away, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, every time I know someone's releasing an album, I don't bother listening to singles because
I just like to see how they sit within, unless it's a mad song and you guys like, you have to listen to this. With Vince, I was like, it's going to be an album. He's quite succinct. He never does these long, drawn out albums. I'll just wait for the album that's coming out. We've got a date, everything. So my first listen to it, bye Theo. I'm going to keep going now. my first listen to it, I was like, oh, this album's nice. Like, it's going places. It flows really nicely. I feel like there's no jarring moments. Everything sits nicely. The skits sit nicely. They paint this real nice picture of like, this is almost like his Good Kid, Mad City type thing. But it's a Good Kid, Mad City of just one vibe.
Okay, this is my problem though. That relates to what you were just saying actually. Like, Good Kid, Mad City was super personal and told Kendrick's story, right? As a debut album would.
Yeah.
And like with Vince's album, it's like this fourth or third or whatever. We're so far down the line, but it's a self-titled one, an eponymous album.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, is he going to tell us a story finally, or are we going to like understand his mindset? Or just like
shit! I didn't even realize this album was called Vince Staples.
This is the thing. It's like this could have been.
Oh
called
my god! I didn't know. I just kept
cover arts like this.
Yeah, he's all up in your face. Fuck! Honestly, I didn't know that. Yeah, go on.
Do you know what I mean? Though,
Yeah.
I feel like this could have been called anything because I didn't get Vince Staples from. Like exactly from this album, it's very pictorial.
It's fly on the wall-ish though.
But yeah,
it's fly on the wall-ish, and that's what I like about it. It's kind of.
I wanted more personal though. Didn't you feel like it was lacking that personal, except for that song "Take Me Home"?
The song before that, or the skit before that gives us a good story. I don't know if that's his mum or something, but that's someone in his family talking about when he wanted to go shoot up somebody and all this or she wanted to go shoot up somebody. I feel like. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a personal album to like the same degree as other albums feel personal, but it does feel like this is him, you know? Like this is what he's on. From judging by his interviews and like his temperament and personality, I think he sat at home listening to this. And he's, you know, some people just only listen to their own music, like Giggs does that and Getz does that as well. They only listen to their own music the whole time. I feel like this is that album.
Though, is this him though? Because the soundscape isn't actually the sounds he makes music on ever, really.
But it feels it doesn't feel weird though to me. Like, I don't know about Sean, but his voice suits this.
Yeah, it definitely does. Like, yeah, it really does.
Couple things you have both mentioned that I was thinking about as well. So the whole thing about it, whether it's personal or not, for me, Vince's music has always been personal, but I actually feel like prior to this point, he came across more of like a fly on the wall, like he was commenting on the things that he witnessed around him, but he didn't really talk about the direct experiences. This one to me felt more personal and more direct, but still not explicit. But he tells you in Law of Averages, like he's not really about that. Like, you know, he don't trust no girl with his government. Do you know what I mean? He's just that kind of character. I don't think he's ever going to be super, super personal. The other thing about, what was the other thing you just said, Kieran? It was to do with, was it the soundscape that you said? Something about that? Yeah.
It's not not actually his sound.
So I don't know whether you got to it, but he was on the Drink Champs podcast and he was talking about his sort of career up until this point. And he said that when he made the first album, Summertime 06, and he started touring and that, he realized, oh my God, all I've got to say is like, what life was like as a gangbanger. I don't really have anything else to tell these people. And he doesn't know anything else. And he started like on tour, meeting other people, getting more offers as he was getting bigger, because he was getting all these great write-ups in publications and whatnot. And he got offered a deal to do a song for Call of Duty. And he got paid more for that than he got paid for the budget for his whole album, his first album, just for doing Call of Duty. And he got publishing. Or residuals, but they didn't use the song. The US Army wanted to use it. They did the same thing, paid him, gave him residuals, never used it. Then it got used on the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse album or something like that.
Sick song as well, yeah.
So he got paid 3 times, residuals 3 times, and it only actually got put on one album. So he was like, "Oh my God, I'm getting all this money." So when he went into Big Fish theory, he was like, "I'm going to make music that can be synced in films." So
and
that's why that sound is so.
A lot of Big Fish theory was in Power, all these kind of like gangster shows. Like some of the beats on there, like I think it's Big Fish.
Yeah, especially the one that Sophie made. Yeah, right as well. That's crazy.
God, bro, that's in so many trailers. Any action film from like 3 years ago had that Yeah Right in it. Like he made a smart move with that album. I'm not gonna lie. Was it Bag Back?
Bag Back was the one that done really well.
Wow.
Apparently.
Yeah,
really well.
4 songs off that album did amazing. 745.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that in a lot of films and TV shows. Big Fish, Yeah Right, and Bag Back.
Yeah. So that's what he was on.
Yeah.
That's what he was on up until recently, where he made FM as well, but he doesn't really consider that an album because he keeps calling this one his third. But he basically said he went through some shit and was like, we were successful with what we did there, but I'm not feeling that anymore. And that's why this one is now more personal, I guess more low key, a bit more direct than he was in the past.
It's his first
I thought
album
that was
that he's
interesting.
done since Prima Donna and Summertime 05, is it? Is that what it's called? Summertime? Yeah,
Well, no,
06.
so Summertime 06 and Big Fish Theory are the 2 studio albums. He did Prima Donna between them. He then did FM after.
But I'm saying,
Big Fish Theory.
since then, this is the first thing I've heard in a
Since
while
FM.
from him that sounds album-ish.
But those
Yeah.
EPs are like album quality EPs. So like you can see how someone would argue that they're albums as well.
Yeah. But he was even saying songs like Blue Suede were getting used a lot, and that's from way back.
No.
But now he's like, I think basically what he was saying, and I said it in the group, it was like he broke down how to sell out, and he made me think about it in a way different way. I used to, like, selling out is always made out to be this bad thing. It's not authentic, this and that. But it felt like him and his team really sat down and were like,
Make
we're going to
money,
do this.
bro.
We're going to take this direction and make a load of money. Exactly. And from the background that he comes from,
Man,
I
listen,
can't get mad at people like that.
No, I'm saying you got to make your money. Everyone's just jealous about this whole like selling out. The thing at the end of the day, most of these rappers and everyone come from like backgrounds where they had no money. So if he wants to make his money by just going a certain way, then kudos to him. That's what you should do. You need to go and do that. I don't care what anyone else says. Everyone like sort of hates on that. But I'm sorry, if you're in a situation where you can make a lot of money by so-called bracket inverted commas, selling out, then you're going to go and do it. I don't care. You put anyone else in that situation, you're going to go and do it. It's just
exactly.
It's just smart.
Vince didn't even sell out though. Like the music.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
All of
I was
the
gonna say that.
poppy kind of songs are incredible music.
Yeah.
You hear like other rappers that make that poppy kind of transition and it's crap.
Yeah, they're
But that's
riding
the
waves.
thing.
So they're, yeah.
Selling out can go one of 2 ways. It can sound horrible and crap like what happened in the UK previously, or it can
Whoa.
just be really, really good and appeal to the masses or appeal to that demographic of people that's going to pay you that money. And in Vince's case, he did it really well. I'm not mad at it. I didn't even really notice it, to be honest, because I liked Big Fish Theory quite a lot.
Yeah, same. Nothing sounded like it at the time, and nothing's really sounded like it since. It's
Some of them
quite
beats are
incredible, really.
wild.
But when he broke it down and was like, "Yeah, I made that album in the mindset of I want this to get played on soundtracks," it was just blew my mind. Man. But yeah, Vince is a clever guy, but he's definitely some things have happened in his life in recent times, and he's like, "Do you know what? I'm going back to me, like what I want to do."
What do you think it
rather
was?
than,
'Cause
like,
I don't really
cater.
know.
I don't know. Maybe he's from like I said, he's always been personal in his music. He's obviously gone through some shit, so maybe he's lost some people close to him. I'm not quite sure, but there's definitely a shift in, like I say, a bit more direct to me in terms of how personal he's been, but also just sonically. This is definitely his most low key project, definitely. And do you think
delivery
it's
on
his
this
most
is
accessible
weird.
as well?
Well, the delivery
Yeah.
on this album's weird because there's no point where he feels like hyped like he has previously sounded hyped on other albums. It's really just like him and the mic on a chill one.
Exactly, and this goes back to why on that first listen it didn't hit because you've heard him hype before, and I love that, and that's what I don't know why I came in expecting that, but that's what. So when I then listen to it and you don't get no hype track, you're a bit like, meh, is this really it? And then obviously I get into it and I think what I think now, but that's part of the reason.
Now I get hyped by like the subtle hype tracks, like The Shining
The Shining. I get hyped.
They're just a tiny bit energy up.
Don't
and
get
it gets
mad.
me gassed.
That
The
song's
Shining
hard.
The Shining is a banger.
The way
Kenny
the
beats,
beat
by the
hits.
way, man.
It's the
Like, the
808s in
beat.
The Shining.
Oh,
It's
Jesus.
heavy.
Oh,
But
God.
sorry, sticking with delivery just quickly is if he came on this hyped, it wouldn't sound as good.
Nah, yeah.
Oh, no,
his
I
delivery
agree.
completely matched.
Yeah.
And I think when we talk about delivery and we talk about the rappers with the greatest delivery, we often go to the people with high energy, aggression, things like that. But there's actually an art to doing more, to being subtle over more low-key minimalist beats and things like that. And I think Vince got it spot on with this.
A prime example of him being hype but mellow is Taking Trips. Because in the hook, he's getting a bit hype. He's like, trip it.
We need to talk about Kenny.
Ooh.
No, Kenny Beats did a number on this album, man. I'm telling you, the beats are phenomenal. They really are.
Wow.
But that what's it called? Taking Trips. What is that instrument playing? Little. It's almost like
one?
Is it a sitar? I don't know what it is, but it's the sort of melody going on in the background.
This sound.
Yeah. What is that?
I don't know.
Tripping. Tripping.
Exactly what it is.
Tripping.
I think it's a
It
sample.
might be a hot sample, but
Yeah.
like, it's really weird.
Nice.
I think there's a lot of samples on this, and if not, that's just a really odd sounding synth. But I love the palette of this album, all the sounds in it. Bang.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%.
There's no
But
song
let's
on
talk
here.
about Kenny Beats.
Well, there's no song on here that's produced weekly. Can we just get that out of the way? There's certain songs where the kick,
100%.
is making your rear view mirror. It's doing that.
Oi, trust me. Oi. Because when I was in the car and The Shining came on, oh my goodness me, I could have crashed. I'm not going to lie to you. When I was in the car for the first time, when it kicks in, it just bumps. I was like, come on, this is just something else. And it's like,
mixed
you
so
know
well.
it.
The ad-libs on this are underrated
Ad-libs
as well. I've had to turn it down a couple of times in the car, especially when Charlie's been with me. She'll be talking, and then suddenly, like you say, the kick will just come in, and I'm like, oh no, hang on a minute, let me just turn it down a few notches.
Everything's
just taking over the
knocking
conversation.
though, like absolutely
big time.
knocking. Like I can't describe to you how much I've enjoyed this album. I was even telling
It's
some
the
people
mix,
on the
isn't it?
weekend. They were telling me, "Oh, Tyler's album's album of the year." I was like, "Have you heard Vince's album?" They're like, no, it can't compare. I was like, if you're looking for that real rap stuff, because we all agree Tyler's over there with it, but Vince, real rap stuff, and just the perfect vibe to encapsulate the last 2 years of coronavirus, all that type of shit. That's what this album feels like. It just feels like a warm hug.
Yeah,
It's true,
yeah.
yeah.
There's. I think I said it to you all before, and I was joking around when I said like you like if you're happy, you're not going to like get with this album because it has got a very melancholy feel to it. But songs like the one in particular, Sundown Town, just feels like how I feel a lot of the time. And I'm never going to talk about personal stuff on a podcast, and it's not that deep. But I just mean when I heard that track, I just went, I've been missing this. I haven't heard this in a long time, where a song just feels like me. I don't know, and
No,
I can't
I hear
relate
you,
to
though.
Vince's content at all because I haven't grown up in that life. But I'm talking about aesthetically, sonically.
Yeah.
This album, especially that track, just sounded like
As an adult,
how I feel.
barely any songs other than like love songs and that will really make you feel like, oh, this song's for me. And with Vince, I felt like Take Me Home was just my vibe. I don't know why.
Take Me Home.
Sam, I was walking
Take
the
Me
other
Home
day
is-
listening to that, and I was thinking
Take Me
like,
Home is
whoa,
hard,
that's
man.
real.
For the longest time,
relatable.
I didn't even know the lyrics to the hook. I was like, "Take me home like I cooked my shoes." I was like, "Oh, she said clicked my shoes because it's Alice in Wonderland." I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh,
Oh, isn't it Wizard of Oz?
same shit, whatever." You know what I mean? Some
One
white
of
bitch,
them, one
some
of
white
them,
bitch
yeah.
transporting some places, yeah. But I was genuinely just like, "What the hell is this album like? Like, why am I vibing with it so much?" And I realized it's just fitting my mood. Like, I'm not down, I'm not overly up, but this album is just there.
It's the way Vince writes as well, though. Like he writes in a way that you can instantly understand him. Nothing's confusing about his wordplay or anything like that. Like he'll catch like catchy rhyme schemes and just keep on bouncing with them as well. Like what's that I Ain't Gonna Lie one in the Shining in the middle verse. I love that bit. And as well.
I was gonna say we said this album is down tempo, but is hype, and I feel like that's his song where he's trying to get onto the TV and
This is the
film
thing.
stuff.
You know, like on Yeezus when Bound 2 comes on at the end, and he finally gives you like all that soul you wanted after all of that synth. I feel like that's what is in this context, where it's like really downbeat, and you finally get something that like bangs and like has more energy and like humor and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a banger.
Yeah.
I know what you mean about the simplicity because I agree with you about Vince, but I'm still catching lines. Like only
same.
this week did I catch the
I am.
I am.
Lil Wayne Baby line on Law of Averages.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I heard that. Oh, yeah.
There's a lot
But
in this
it's-
album, even though
Yeah,
it's really
it's the
short.
content matter. Yeah, it's the content matter as well because I did a proper deep listen and I was like, oh man, it's amazing how like when you listen to it like properly and deep it, how deep some of the stuff he's talking about, and yet the sound is so mellow and they're contrasting of like what he's actually going through and what the sound is. You could easily just vibe to the album, going bumping your head, minding your own business, not actually knowing the trials and tribulations that like obviously Vince was going through and what it was like for him growing up. Like, you wouldn't get that. The sound doesn't portray that. And I do love how you've got that contrast in that album. So
most
It's
definitely.
heavy content. But sorry, just to go back to production quick, because we need to. There are other producers on this, but Kenny Beats is the lead.
oh, he's the main guy, man.
Where do we?
He's the main guy.
Yeah, on most tracks actually, there's additional credits, but I don't know if it's just musicians playing instruments and whatnot. But Kenny Beats, where do we hold him with the current, the modern day top producers? Is he right up there?
He's coming up.
I think he's new. That's the problem. I only heard about him about four
With
years
that
ago when
Denzel
he started
Curry
his thing.
project.
That
Oh,
Denzel
that's
Curry
something else.
project, man.
I
Unlock
don't even know him
1.5.
before that Denzel one.
This is what I'm saying. His
Really?
YouTube thing is what made me realize who he is. But all those beats and stuff off there, all the songs are hard. And then people are like, yeah, Kenny Beats. I'm like, but who is this? Like, there's no clout behind his name. He's just building clout for me now. But he hasn't missed yet in my eyes.
The first time I really noticed him was when he did Freddie Gibbs' album Freddie. He did quite a few songs on there. But if you look at some of his credits, like obviously Denzel Curry, Slow Tie, SL over here, Idols, the band Idols, O3 Greedo, FKA Twigs, Ed Sheeran, Rico Nasty. He's got range, man.
Hold on, what FK Twigs track though? That's mad.
I don't know. I think it's the one with Future. I think there's quite a lot of credits on there, but he's been involved with a lot of artists. And The Cave's brilliant.
What put him
That's
on
a
my
great
radar
series.
was when he did that thing with this guy, Zach Fox. That's when I started to pay attention to him, that whole Jesus is the one thing, which was more of a meme than it was a real song. But I don't know. I feel like Kenny Beats is becoming a serious producer to be reckoned with. But it's like, how do we know what a Kenny Beats beat sounds like? Because they all sound very, very... He doesn't have anything like a signature type sound.
I agree with that. There's no signature that makes you think, oh, yeah, this is Kenny Beats. There isn't, yeah.
Apart from the ad-lib.
Who? Kenny?
Yep. Apart from that. But no, he's got great range, man. I think he's up there.
That's the thing, though. I feel like we need to allow producers to have range rather than be like, oh, yeah, Alchemist is known for chopping up the samples. So-and-so does this like this. Zaytoven will play like a gospel fucking organ on your song. I feel like we need to be like, nah, this person made a really good beat for this artist and it suited them.
I
We
agree.
talk about the
man.
transitions on this album. The way the songs sequence together is beautiful.
It is.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? This is
subtle,
how like sequencing of an album should be. It's lovely. That's why. It's just beautiful. That's all I've got to say, really.
Literally, like the way just before comes in, because like that beat's built on like these twangs and like atonal kind of stuff. The way like the previous tune, the sample starts contorting and like the pitches start getting like flexed and stuff. It's just sick, but it's like so subtle you don't really realize it's happening, but it blends the whole experience together, and it happens throughout the whole album like that as well.
There's a lot of times where I'm listening to this album and I forget what song's coming next because it's just like I've just used to hearing them so seamlessly go. It's not like I know one song's ended and another one's begun. It's like it's just next beat's coming on, but I'm not really like, with some albums it's like, oh, that song slowly faded out and then boom, whatever. Like my prime example of this is the Apple in the Tree going into Take Me Home. Before that,
brilliant.
there's a tiny bit, and if you've got your thing on seamless playback, you won't hear it. But in the beginning of Take Me Home, it goes like 1, 2, 3. Then the beat kicks in.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't clock it because she's speaking in the Apple in the Tree, and then all you hear is this 1, 2. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Every
It's just-
time.
it's so well done. It really is. Man, I was just doing it. I was like, da, 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 and then I've come on, and then you've got it on.
It's the end of this song. It's this bit for me. This.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about.
I was thinking that earlier when I was listening to
But
it.
then this. It just goes
And
straight
then
into
it just
this.
goes into
Oh wait,
straight
no,
to
no,
the
it doesn't,
album.
it doesn't do that. It doesn't go to Tame Impala.
Sorry, that was
The cue, the
Nice transition
cue.
though.
Wait, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Hold up. I love the way that Spotify always fucks me over. I'll queue something up on my phone, listen to it, and then my phone doesn't delete it out of here.
that was Currents about to come on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something off Currents
I was floating in my bed last night. I ain't gonna lie.
after that album.
This. It's like I don't know why. Something about that end sound fits into this.
Yeah.
I don't
Kenny
know
Beats,
how.
man. He knows what he's doing. But the last thing, sort of, I guess, regarding the sonics and the production and whatnot, would we all say this is his most accessible project so far?
Yeah, definitely. Like
haven't
I
heard
sometimes
about
listen to
Kenny
Blue
Beats
Suede
projects.
and it hurts my ears.
Oh, you talk
There's
about
a lot of
Vince.
great Vince
Yeah.
Staples music that's hard to listen to.
Oh yeah. He's got a great discography, but I feel like if you talk about just the album solely, Summertime '06 was an aggressive album. It's almost bluesy to me, and No ID makes incredible out there beats as well, and it showed on that album. And then Big Fish Theory was super abrasive, electronic, very left field. FM, I guess, was more accessible, and that had kiddie beats on there too. There was some. That was like, I don't know. That's hard to explain.
It sounds dumb to say,
And then
but that
this
album
one-
felt childish to me. FM.
Yeah, something was weird.
really?
There's a song called "Fun" on it. Do you know what I mean? I don't even like that song at all.
I was
man.
saying, it felt a bit
So,
childish.
Oh, really?
This album feels
Yeah.
growing up. That album felt a bit. You
That
know?
turned me off Vince a little bit.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie.
same. That's why I wasn't so hyped for this album like you guys was. I was like, he gave me 2 good albums, and the last thing I heard from him wasn't so great. But this is. If we were to make a top 10 list right now, I would have to put Vince somewhere in that top 10, based off just this album alone.
As in, like, what do you mean by top 10?
I don't know what the top
albums
10
this
is,
year?
but I would put him in
What's
it.
Albums
Yeah.
this year,
What,
rappers
this year?
in general,
Album
like
list?
new school rappers, I'd have to put Vince Staples in there
Yeah.
because of this album.
Well, let's talk about the
definitely
raps.
album of the year. Our album of the year, he would definitely go in that conversation. There's no discussion really.
But let's talk about the raps though, because I feel like he doesn't get brought up in that discussion when we talk about the sort of great rappers of his generation. But like, firstly, did we have any sort of standout moments here in terms of the bars, the flow? Like, was there anything on here that sort of stuck in our minds?
Law of Averages, when he's
Yeah.
just talking about leave me alone, and then he's talking about AMGs and SMGs. I'm into that shit. He has this whole thing where he's talking about guns, and then he's talking about cars at the same.
Yeah.
I can't describe it without reading it. You guys talk, and
I think
I'll
the
get back
best
to
thing
it.
about Vince's rapping is like the way he flows and rides that flow,
Yes.
and like keeps on rolling with it as well. And that's something that not a lot of people do.
I'm glad you mentioned flow. I think he's got one of the best flows, right?
Oh, definitely.
Of his sort of
100%.
generation. He's
rides the
it's
beat
relentless.
perfectly.
What's that guy?
It's relentless.
Hand.
The
What's
breath
that song
control was
called?
incredible. What's that?
What's that song called? Pimp Hand or something?
Oh,
Where,
off
like he
of,
just flows so disgusting.
off of Prima Donna.
Yeah. I
think-
feel like this album was like that kind of flowing, but just like throughout the whole thing. I listened to it this morning, and like every single song on this album, he just catches the flow and rides on it. He doesn't ever like break it really at all. He doesn't really switch up the flow either on each
Yeah,
track.
he catches a pocket and he's in
Yeah.
that pocket, man.
And he just
He's
keeps
he's
going.
Like, he's like a prime quarterback in that pocket, and you ain't taking him down, man.
He's incredible because you'd get bored of someone doing that. Like for a whole song.
No, that's
He's
very
something
exactly.
about his personality.
For me, the standouts when it comes to flow is the second verse on Sundown Town. The way he is riding that beat is incredible. It's like, as I said, it's relentless, but it's not like aggressive relentless. I just mean like you're waiting for him to breathe. You're waiting for like a gasp, and it just doesn't come. He just keeps on going, as you say, Fair. He sticks in that pocket. The other one was again Take Me Home. The way he's just again riding the beat, it just sounds.
But it's
so
the way the
perfect.
pocket is on Sundown Town, which is amazing because it's like when you think about it, all these verses are very short verses, but it's like he keeps the same type of flow, and he's going and he's going, and it's done. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't just like it doesn't feel like he's tiring it out. He just uses one nice flow for a song, gets off what he's got to say, and then he's done. It's like it never gets to the point where you're like, oh yeah, okay, here we go. He's trying to rap fast, trying to rap slow, he's trying to catch this pocket. It's just enough.
Yeah. But there's some real standout bars on here as well. One of the ones that just hit me straight away was on, again, as you can tell, I love Sundown Town, but when he said hanging on them, he says hanging on them corners, same as hanging from a ceiling fan. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that bar. Yeah, that was tough bar. That was a tough bar.
And then he follows it up with, when I see my fans, I'm too paranoid to shake their hands. Like, what? You just think like, what has he gone through? What has his life been like to this point? It's just, the mentality is crazy.
Something
and then
must have
even,
happened.
oh yeah. I think he's been through a lot. And then the hook on The Shining, what is it? He says, we die broke or live with broken hearts. That's just genius, man. Genius.
Start with a bang,
Such good writing.
shine when I hit the scene.
But like I was thinking about, like I said, I don't think he gets mentioned enough with his contemporaries, and I was thinking about those people that kind of dropped their debut or their sort of first significant release around his time. People like Joey Badass, Isaiah Rashad, a few Chicago rappers like Chance, Mick Jenkins, No Name, Saba, and then people like Jid, Goldlink. I feel like he's at the top of those. I feel like he is kind of
The new school
the
people
best of his generation.
might look at him as a bit like, oh, this guy's a bit boring or whatever, but it's like he's keeping hip hop alive. He's not trying to shake shit up too much right now. If anything, he's doing enough. He's like doing that old school gangster shit. He's like, this is gonna make me money, you know? This is gonna make me money, and this is what makes me happy. And this is one of those examples of one that will do both. Makes him happy, and this will definitely make him money. Because he can just go and perform this whole album.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's the beauty of this album, because it's so short, but it's so I just love it because it's so concise. He's in and like he's out and he's done. I just think it's so accessible to anyone. It's not like a long drag of like you look at an album and it's like, oh my god, it's over an hour. This is like, I think it's 22 minutes, you know, and it's like, right, I can listen to this. I can get the feel for this album. Nice vibe, gone, and you're done. And I think it's going to do, like, it will do really well. And like you said, he enjoys doing it. So it's the best of both worlds.
Well, he just dropped a Tiny Desk as well.
Did he? Of this album?
Wow.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that. You kept that to yourself.
I need to listen to that.
I literally just listened before this.
Oh.
Not gonna lie, I felt a little bit emotional when a certain song came on. It's very good.
What song was it?
Very good. Take Me Home. I'll be honest. Take
Of
Me.
course.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Nice
say, I feel like one aspect of Vince that some people might not find him like put him at the forefront is like he's very West Coast, and I feel like this album especially is like quintessential West Coast music. And at other times he's like not trend following either, like with Big Fish Theory. So I don't know. There's something about him that's always left field. Always, like no matter what he's doing, and he's doing like old school West Coast right now in a West field, in a left field kind of way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, which is what made me. Which is what made me feel. I felt a bit hesitant when I was talking about the selling out thing because it's got such a bad. There's such a bad stigma to that word. But when I'm saying selling out, I don't mean like he wasn't following trends or like biting anyone or riding waves. He created music for a purpose of making money, but it maintained
Authenticity,
creativity, quality. Genius, man. He's genius. But then the other thing I always think is, how can someone so like funny and almost like goofy in interviews and whatnot be so heavy in the lyrics? Do you know what I mean? There's nothing funny about his bars.
But that's why I like because it's a really funny song. Like I laugh when the chorus
funny,
like,
yeah. Such a good vibe, yeah.
You can almost hear him enjoying that song while he's rapping it.
For real.
That actually reminded me of that Fredo song, also called He's got a very similar song, Fredo.
What the hell?
Didn't know that.
Yeah, very similar.
He's buying off the UK.
One thing though, got to try and make this a bit more balanced. Was it too short? That album?
Nah, I liked it.
No?
I liked it. I don't think it's too short at all.
Is it playing that game on us though, where it's so short that you want to listen to it loads of times type thing? Because that's what I had to think about when I was trying to get really critical on this. Like, if this album was double the length of this, and there was features, like proper features that weren't just on hooks and stuff like that, would I like this album so much? I don't know. But I'm not mad at the length. Like, we were saying with J. Cole's album, some of the tracks are too short, whatever. Every track on this feels fully done. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing else you can put in it.
Yeah.
And they transition.
Saying that, I know, I agree with you, but saying that, I'm just going to jump straight to it. I'll be completely honest. This is my favourite album of the year so far. It is my favourite album. I didn't hear the boom. If you play the boom, I don't think the soundboard's working.
It is working. Oh, I can't hear. You guys can't hear none of it. But I'm hearing them. Sorry, they're in the recording. They're in the recording.
All right. We're all good.
You wanted the boom.
Yeah, I saw Sam's arm like
really
like that, and I was like, I didn't hear it. But saying that, it's like although this album, it's not too short, and as you say, it sounds finished. I can't say it's better than say Tyler's. Tyler's album to me is still the best album of the year objectively because it's so layered and it's
an album.
Do you know what I mean? But I guess the difference I would say between Vince and Tyler is Vince created a vibe, whereas Tyler created a world. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think this feels like an EP. Let's be real. I don't know why
it feels like an album.
Not to me. No. So, like, just to kind of reiterate what I'm saying, I don't think it's the best. it connects with me. First listen, it just felt right, and it's my favorite album this year.
I'm going to go out on the limb and say it, right? He's calling it an album, so I'm calling it an album. And as far as albums go this year, it is my album of the year. And that's just because it's what I want. I wanted something like this, rappy. Like, yeah, Tyler's album's good, but it's not what I needed to have with me. Like, it's just nice to have with me, Tyler's album. And it's not like I'm saying, oh, objectively, this one's better than that one. It's just like what Sean said. Personally, this is my favorite. And also, if we're going to say what's closer to conventional rap, it's Vince, innit?
Vincent is right for this time, innit? It's that vibe of chilling out, but also like on the go as well. I'd want to see it live too.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh yeah. In fact, while you're talking, I'm going to look up to see if there's tickets.
Live on the podcast, we're going to start buying tickets.
Yeah.
Go donate to us. We don't even have nowhere for you to donate to us, but trust me, tell us you're on it. Tell us you're with that, and we'll figure it out.
Get our Discord up.
Yeah, come over to Discord.
Yeah, come in the Discord and if you're a girl, send nudes, and if you're not a girl, send money. You know what I'm saying?
Edit the fuck out of that.
Yeah, literally. I don't even know where that button is.
I do my monster.
Edit the fuck out. I want it to be straight gangster.
It's the new board. The new board layout's confused me. There's only about 7 things on this board.
That's amazing. Right, I think. Right, we'll move on. So what next for Vince? Because he's already announced that there's another album. I don't know when it's coming, but he has
Ramona Park something. What is Ramona Park, by the way?
I think it's the
LA.
park in his area. I think he's from what's it called? Same place as Snoop. Is it Long Beach?
Yeah, it's Long Beach. I'm sure
And I
it's-
think
that's
Ramona
yeah.
Park is in Long Beach. And Sam, you know what you were saying about the birds in the background of one of the songs?
Mm-hmm.
I remember on his first album, he had the seagulls. And I think on Prima Donna, there's this weird little skit that he does where he's singing a song. And again, there's the birds in the background. So I'm assuming it's fairly coastal or it's near the coast. I don't know. I'm a bit ignorant. I don't really know too much about
But none of us live in LA, so we don't
California on
know
the whole. No.
So he's got Ramona Park Broke My Heart on the way, and a Netflix show apparently as well.
Yep.
shit. What does the Netflix show
He's
do
doing
though?
He's funny.
What do you think it's going to be, like a documentary type thing, or like something we don't even expect?
We had that show on YouTube, didn't he? I didn't watch it, but he had the Vince Staples show on YouTube, and he's been on different soundtracks as well. He's definitely someone who will go beyond rap. He'll go beyond music. He's a talented guy. He shows that in his interviews as well. He's got real character. So yeah, I'd be interested to see what he's going to do on Netflix. But also the album as well, Ramona Park Broke My Heart. That to me sounds even more personal.
Well,
Yeah,
he
it
had a
does
song
sound
with
there's
Ramona
gonna
Park.
massively
be
personal.
a bit more like instrumentation in it and stuff.
Yeah, maybe this will be the more personal album that we expected. Even though this is it's weird to have your third album as your self-titled album. Is one thing I actually forgot to say.
It's
Yeah.
weird, man.
Normally
But
it's like a first or a
it's that,
second
like
album
Sean
thing.
said, it's that turn back. It is, yeah, but remember, like Sean said, he turned back to like his true roots kind of thing, like not that selling out quoted thing.
But
Yeah.
needless to say, the next album from him, or what do we expect from him? I don't know. I'm here for it though. Whatever it is, I'll definitely listen to it. And if I don't like it, then that's just how it works out. But I really like this, so it will carry me through to the
I
next
want
project.
hits on it. I'm gonna be real. I want hits like "Don't Get Chipped" and "Big Fish." I want big.
Do you want
tunes.
features as well?
No, I don't really like Vince features except the Kendrick one.
Yeah, Vince is fine on his own. I don't necessarily need features. I just I'll just look forward to whatever he brings out next. I really enjoyed this album, and we'll see what happens next. Really,
Same man, he doesn't miss, in my opinion. Vince does not
It
miss.
really doesn't.
Favorite tracks,
Ha,
Stan?
someone else go first.
Oh, we're switching it up.
Yeah.
Feel?
okay. Yeah, The Shining all day. That is my favorite track, and but The Shining, I'm sorry, that just bumps every single time for me.
Okay.
Fair enough. Kieran?
Law of averages, Shining, and
Nice.
Okay. I've got Take Me Home, of course, and shout out Fouché. Great voice, great hook. Sundown Town and
Yeah, see, I needed to wait because everyone said, I have 5 songs that I've liked on this album. You guys have said all of them, but my favorite, and this is in this order, is Take Me Home, Lil Fade, and Sundown Town.
Okay. Okay. Honourable mention to Tripping as well, because that beat is...
Oh, yeah. Taking
Honourable mention to the whole fucking album, bro.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's true. Exactly.
There was one thing that I've picked up on, and it's more... I've noticed it now with a few projects. Rappers are putting mums on their albums more. So Tyler did it, Vince did it,
Yeah.
Dave's done it by the
isn't
sounds
it?
of things. I might be wrong.
Yeah, Dave has done it.
Smoke
It's definitely
did
his
it.
mum. Yeah.
Pop Smoke, yeah. But whereas like mums have always been a part of hip hop, like, but more like tribute songs. Whereas now they're like, we're hearing their voices, and I wonder if this is just going to be one of those strange.
Hold on,
I think they're doing it so they
done
can
as
pay them.
well.
Yeah, DMX to do it, didn't he? Yeah.
Oh my God, man!
Yeah, I swear he did.
I think they're doing it so they
something's
can
going
give
on.
them royalties off that song. Because if you look at the Apple and the Tree, it's got 1 million streams, which is, about however much money. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's been bought, do you see what I mean? The royalties
Clever.
that you can give your mum without having to pay tax or some shit. I don't know. But there's got to be a reason why
that's
people
true.
are doing that.
That is a really good point.
Clever.
That's like when people put their
Okay.
kids singing in their album in the background or give them a skit, like, so they can pay them.
Yeah. Okay,
That'd be
scores
Ivy on
on the
Beyonce.
doors for Kieran. Do you wanna do your score?
Yeah. Oh man, this talk's made my score feel a bit. My score was a range,
No,
was
you got to
like-
give us
I was
one
still
number,
upset.
not a range.
Yeah. It's because I was upset about the first listen still, but yeah, I think I'll go with 8.5.
Oh wow. Wow.
I thought it'd be.
Yeah, same.
No,
Sam?
I rate this album.
Oh.
Don't get it twisted.
Okay. Sam?
I'm gonna go with a nice solid 9 on this. Because
I hear that.
for me, an 8 didn't feel right, and a 9 feels great. But anything higher than a 9 is me gassing it more than it should be. But this
You're
is a
gassed,
personally
Sam.
inflated
That's one of the highest
number.
ratings you've ever done.
But I just like this a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like this is exactly what I like, and this is it, a 9. And I am notoriously known for giving low numbers, but this one,
It's true.
perfection.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Mine's lower than both of yours.
Man's gonna be like 8.1.
No, I'm not. But bearing in mind that we just reviewed Tyler, and I gave Tyler my highest score so far this year, which was 8.7. And like I said, objectively I think it's the better album. This one, I've given it 8.3. I've given it 8.3. As much as I'm loving it, I don't think it's his best.
Man gets so well.
Forward again, Sam.
But yeah, as much as I love it, I don't think it's his best work, if I'm honest. I don't think
I
it's his
agree.
best.
It's definitely not Big Fish Theory.
But I'm looking at it from a personal perspective of this album for me is a 9. If I had to rate it objectively, yeah, my score would be somewhere between yours and Sean's. You know what I mean? Like 8.4, whatever. But the extra 0.6 is the fact for the last 3 weeks, maybe even a month now, just been banging this album out.
Yeah.
Just literally every day in the car. Like I don't really have many long driving journeys, so every journey seems to just fit for the way there, and then on the way back I might play something else, or the reverse of on the way there play my little playlist, and on the way back be like, I want to hear that Vince.
See, that's the best thing about this album, though. Like, I only had 20 minutes today to listen to it, so I put it on, and it was done when I needed it to be done.
Exactly. It doesn't feel like a task to put it on. It's
No.
effortless.
No.
We need Theo for his
Right,
score,
well-
man.
Yeah, we're gonna have to edit Theo in.
Yeah, literally.
Edit the fuck out of that. Right, Theo, what's your score? Do you want to hear ours? Should we just quickly run through ours?
Yeah. Let's hear yours. But I've got my score. It's not going to be affected. But yeah.
Kieran did an 8.5, I did a 9, and Sean did an 8.3.
Sean did 8.3.
Yeah, don't worry about that. We're gonna get to that.
Damn. 8.3. Oh wait. Nah.
No, like I said, like I said, objectively, Theo.
Why do you have a problem?
Yeah. Theo.
8.3. Oh my days. Anyway, yeah.
Theo.
Let's listen.
Theo. Relax,
Yeah.
relax.
No,
Bearing in
relax,
mind
man.
that,
Relax. I just
You
can't
say.
believe it.
As I said, my highest score is Tyler 8.7, and I think it's a better album than this. And as much as I love Vince's, I don't think it's his best album to date.
Okay.
So an 8.3 feels right for me. But
Okay.
yeah, what's your score?
My score is an 8.6. I think it's a solid album, and I really like it. And it will definitely go in the contenders of album of the year. So I had to rate it high.
Oh, definitely.
So, yeah.
Definitely.
My rating will probably go up. I'm going to be real.
So that brings us to
So
an
what-
8.6 in total, which isn't a bad score for this album.
I feel like Theo always gets it spot on.
Hey, this is Sean, and thanks for listening. We have a bit of an announcement to make. We are now on Discord. Join us to get in on the discussion after each episode. You'll also be able to suggest new content and talk all things rap and hip hop with myself, Sam, Kieran and Theo. The link is in the show notes. And shout out to all our listeners in India. Our prayers go out to you during these difficult times. Take care.